In today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet the double diamond mesh crochet stitch. This is a beautiful lacy stitch. It uses basic stitches such as single crochet, half double crochet, and chains. Now it's not necessarily hard, but it does require some concentration, especially in the beginning where you're seeing where to place the stitches. But once you get through the first couple repeats, then it's a lot easier to figure out. So I did something a little bit differently for this particular stitch, where on my website there is now a free downloadable PDF that has the written directions for this stitch, because then you can print that out and you can follow along with the video and be able to really get the hang of this. Now you can go to the website at www.handmadebystacyj.com. I will have the link down below. And before we get started, please remember to like and subscribe. Now for demonstration purposes for this video, I'm going to be using an Aran weight yarn and a large size I or 5.5 millimeter hook. This is my trusty Furls hook. I'll have an affiliate link down below if you would like to get your hands on one of these. But this one right here, I did using a fingering weight yarn in a G or a 4 millimeter hook. And I do believe that this stitch looks fabulous in a fingering weight. I feel like it really brings out the laciness of it. So for the sample, I used the Sheppy's Spirit. And this is a wonderful yarn to work with, but to me, this stitch was just saying to make it in spirit. But again, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to be using a thicker yarn and a larger hook so that you can see better. So let's grab your hook, grab some yarn, and let's get started. This stitch pattern works in multiples of 6. So for this demonstration, I am going to chain 24. So I'm going to chain 24, and then I will meet you when I am done with that. Now that I've chained my 24, we're ready to begin row 1, which is your right side. And we're going to begin by chaining 4. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in that 6th chain from your hook, we're going to single crochet. So work 6 chains down, so the 6th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll do a single crochet in that stitch. Then we're going to begin the pattern repeat for this row, and that is to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 chains. So these next 2 chains, we'll do a single crochet in each of them. So that's 1 and 2. After you do that, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to skip 3 chains. So this one we already worked in, so we're going to skip 1, skip 2, skip 3. And in this next one, we're going to work a single crochet. And that is your pattern repeat. So we're going to do this again, and you're going to do this pattern repeat until you have only 4 chains left. So that's to do a single crochet in each of the next 2 chains. That's 1, and that's 2. Then we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and skip 3 chains. So this one we already worked, so we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and work a single crochet in the next one. And that's your pattern repeat. So last time, and this is the last time that we'll do it because by the time we end, we should have only 4 chains left. So we're going to do a single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. That's 1 and 2. Then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and then do a single crochet. And now we have 4 chains left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And how we're going to end this row is to do a single crochet in each of the next 2. So 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets. Now we're down to 2 chains left. So we're going to chain 2. And then in this last chain right here, so we're going to skip this one right here. But in this last chain, we're going to work a half double crochet. So in this chain right here, a half double crochet. And then that's it for your row 1. Let me show you what I have. So that's a good start. Now let's work on row 2. For row 2, we're going to begin by chaining 1. And then in this half double crochet that we made, we're going to do a single crochet. So single crochet on top of that first stitch. Then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to skip the 2 chains and we're going to skip this single crochet. And in this middle single crochet right here, we're going to do a single crochet. So essentially what you're doing is you're working in that middle stitch because you have 1, 2, 3. So you just insert your single crochet in that middle stitch. Then we're going to begin our pattern repeat, and that is to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to skip this single crochet, and we're going to skip 2 of the chains. But in this third chain, which is also in the middle of that chain 5, in that third chain, we're going to make a single crochet. Then after you do that, you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to skip these 2 chains, skip that first single crochet, and in that second or the middle single crochet, work 1 more single crochet. And then that's it for your pattern repeat. And we'll go over this again. But this is what it's starting to look like. Okay, to do this repeat again, we begin by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to skip this last single crochet, skip those next 2 chains, and in that middle chain of that chain 5, we're going to work a single crochet. Then we'll chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to skip these 2 chains and skip that single crochet, and we'll insert our hook into the second stitch, making a single crochet in the middle of those 3. Then we'll chain 3. We're going to skip the single crochet, skip 2 chains, and in that middle chain of that chain 5, we'll work that single crochet. Now we're going to end this up by doing our chain 3. We're going to skip these 2 chains, skip the single crochet, and then insert our hook into that second stitch to work a single crochet. So that middle single crochet. And when you're down to just one single crochet and the beginning chain 5, this is when you're going to finish out this row. And to do that, you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to work a single crochet in the 3rd chain of the beginning chain 5. So I'm just going to count down 2. So 1, 2, and then in this 3rd chain right here, I'll work a single crochet. And that's your row 2. For row 3, we're going to turn our work and begin by chaining 1. Then in the top of the single crochet, so the very first stitch, you're going to work 1 more single crochet. After we do that, we'll do a single crochet in the next chain. So right here, so the next chain, we're going to do a single crochet. Then we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we're going to do is skip these 2 chains, skip this single crochet, and skip 2 more chains. But in the next chain, right here, right before that single crochet, we're going to work a single crochet. Then we're going to work a single crochet in the single crochet stitch from the previous row, and then 1 more single crochet in the next chain. After you do that, chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that is it for this row of your pattern, or that's it for this pattern repeat for this row. So we're going to do this again. We're going to skip these 2 chains, skip this single crochet, skip 2 chains from that chain 3, and in this next chain, which is right up next to the single crochet, we will work a single crochet. Then we'll do a single crochet in the next stitch, which is also a single crochet. And then we'll do a single crochet in the next chain. Sometimes these are a little bit fiddly to get into too, so just make sure when you do your chains that you don't do them too tight. And now we'll chain 5. 1, 2. And that's it for that pattern repeat. So we're going to do it again. So we're going to skip these 2 chains, that single, and 2 chains from here. But in that next chain that's right next to that single crochet, we're going to work a single crochet. And then we'll work a single crochet in the next stitch as well, which is also a single crochet. And then in the next chain, which is right next to this. There's that single crochet. And then we chain 5. 1, 2, 3. Excuse me, I'm getting a little bit tangled up here. Okay, now I'm less tangled up. So now we're coming up to the end of this repeat. So I had only 3 chains, so I need to chain 2 more. And now we're going to skip these 2 chains, skip that single crochet, and skip these 2 chains as well. So we effectively only have the 1 chain and a single crochet left. So how we're going to end this is to work 1 single crochet in the chain right before that last one. And then we're going to work a single crochet in that last stitch. And that's your row 3. For row 4, we're going to begin by first turn our work, and we're going to chain 1. Then in this first single crochet right here, we're going to do a single crochet. After you do that, we're going to begin our pattern repeat, which is to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to skip this single crochet here, so the one that's right next to where you put in your beginning single crochet. So we're going to skip this one, and we're going to skip 2 chains, 1, 2, and then we're going to put a single crochet into that third chain. So in the middle of this chain 5, you'll place a single crochet in that third chain. Then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to skip these 2 chains in that first single crochet. But the next single crochet, so the middle of those 3, that middle single crochet is where we're going to place our next single crochet. And that's it for your pattern repeat. So we're going to do this again. Let's chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to skip the next single crochet, skip the next 2 chains, and in that third chain of that chain 5, work a single crochet. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip these next 2 chains and that next single crochet, and in that middle one of those 3, place a single crochet in there. And that's the pattern repeat again. See, this one's really not hard. It's just a matter of knowing where to place those stitches. So we're going to do this pattern repeat again. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip this single crochet, skip these 2 chains, and in that next chain, work a single crochet. And chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to skip these 2 chains, skip that first single crochet, and in the next one, work a single crochet. All right, now we're going to chain 3 because we are coming up to the end. Now with those 3 chains, we're now going to skip this single crochet, skip these 2 chains, and in that third chain, place a single crochet. And then how we end it is pretty easy. So you'll chain 3, you'll skip these 2 chains, you'll skip this single crochet, and you will place your final single crochet in the top of that last stitch, which is also a single crochet. So you'll skip these 2 chains in that first single, put your final single crochet in the top of that last stitch. And this is row 4. You can kind of open it up and see how the laciness is starting to take shape. For row 5, we're going to turn our work, and we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are going to skip this first stitch. We're going to skip 2 chains, and then in this next chain, we're going to work a single crochet. Then we'll have the single crochet right here. This is where we're also going to single crochet. And also in the next chain. This is what that beginning will look like. So that chain 4 kind of acts like a corner. Now we're going to begin our pattern repeat. And that repeat is to begin by chaining 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to skip the 2 chains, skip this single crochet, and skip 2 chains. But when we come up here to this guy, we're going to put a single crochet in that next chain. So the chain that's right next to this single, we're going to put it in right before. Then we're going to put in a single crochet in the next stitch, which is a single crochet. And then we're going to add in one more single crochet in the chain that's next to the single crochet you just made. And that is your pattern repeat. So we'll do this again. Let's begin by chaining 5. Then we're going to skip these 2 chains, skip this single crochet, skip 2 chains. And in that next chain, we'll work a single crochet. And in the next stitch, we'll work a single crochet. And in that next chain, we'll work a single crochet. And that's it for the pattern repeat. So we're going to do this again. You continue doing that repeat until only 2 chains and the final single crochet remains. So you work across until you have just your single crochet here and 2 chains. So we will end by doing that last single crochet here. So I'll show you. So we're going to begin that pattern repeat again, which is to chain 5. Then we're going to skip these 2 chains, skip this single crochet, skip these 2 chains, and then in the chain right beside that single crochet, we will work a single crochet. After you do that single crochet, work a single crochet in the next stitch, and then 1 in the next chain. And now we are right up towards the end. So how we're going to finish this is to chain 2. And then in this final single crochet, we're going to work a half double crochet. So this stitch right here, let's work a half double crochet. And that's your row 5. Now the edges, if they start looking wonky on you, like if they start feeling tight, don't be afraid to make your stitches a little bit taller when you come to the very edge. So if you're doing that half double crochet like we just did, here, let me give you an example. I'll do that final stitch just a little bit looser. So I'll yarn over like a half double, put it where it's supposed to be. But then as I'm pulling them out, as I'm pulling the loops through, I just do it a little bit looser. So that way there's a little more give. But also when you block your piece, if you're using animal fiber or plant fiber, when you block it, that'll help open it up a bit too. Because this one right here, it was pretty wonky on the edges until I blocked it, and then it cleaned up pretty well. So let's go on to the final row, which is row 6. For row 6, we're going to turn our work, and we're going to chain 1. And then in this first stitch, which is the top of that half double crochet, we're going to work a single crochet. After you do that, chain 3. Then we're going to skip these 2 chains and that first single crochet. And in this middle single crochet right here, we're going to work a single crochet. And now we're going to begin our pattern repeat. And the repeat begins by chaining 3. Then we're going to skip this single crochet, and we're going to skip the next 2 chains. And in the middle of this chain 5, we're going to work a single crochet. Then we'll chain 3. And we're going to skip these 2 chains in that first single crochet, and in this middle single crochet, so the second one in, that's where we're going to work a single crochet. And that is your pattern repeat. So let's do this again. We're going to chain 3. We're going to skip this single crochet. Then we're going to skip 2 chains, and in this third chain, we'll work a single crochet. Then we'll chain 3. And we're going to skip these 2 chains and that single crochet. And in that middle single crochet, we'll work another single crochet. Now you're going to continue with that repeat until you have a 1 single crochet in the beginning chain 4. So you would work across your row until you get down to this very end with that beginning chain 4 and a single crochet. So let's do this repeat one more time. We're going to chain 3, skip this single crochet, skip 2 chains, work a single crochet in that third chain. Then we'll chain 3, and we will skip these 2 chains, skip that single crochet, and in that middle single crochet, work a single. And now we're where we need to be at the very end, where we have 1 single crochet left and that beginning chain 4. So we're going to chain 3, then we're going to skip the single crochet, and we're going to skip 2 chains, and in that second chain right there, we are going to work a single crochet. So that second chain of your beginning chain 4. So we're going to skip those 2 and put it right in there. And you can do this one a little bit looser too. But that is it for this stitch. So how you would continue is just to repeat rows 3 through 6 until you get to your desired length. Now this one, I believe I did about, probably I think I did 6 repeats on this one. And again, it was with the fingering weight yarn, but you start seeing it really take shape. And like right here, you can see that's where your 3 single crochets are, and then you have that 1 single crochet. And that kind of adds that structure to the lace. But that is it for this stitch. I do hope that you found this helpful, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you later with more patterns and tutorials. Thanks a bunch. Bye-bye.